Welcome back, guys, to Science Saturdays. I am your host, Kevin, with the City of El Cajon Rec Department. I was gone, absence for a week, but now I'm back here to work with you guys on DIY lava lamps. All you need is a few basic ingredients that you can find at home. You can make yourself an awesome, super cool lava lamp that you get to keep at home. So, before we get started on this whole experiment, we need to look over two key words to understand what this experiment is about. So the first word we have here is oil, which is a viscous liquid from petroleum, which is used for fuel and lubricant. So there's a tricky word here. We have viscous. This is what is describing what the liquid is like. Viscous means it's super thick and sticky. So when you feel oil, you'll have that kind of sticky feeling on your hands. And that's what they mean by viscous. So, and that's going to make up 3/4 of our water bottle. So we have a water bottle here, and it's going to make up 3/4 of the water bottle. So, next word we're going to be looking at is water. We all know what water is, but we're going to kind of look at it more in depth here. So, it is also called H2O, which is made out of hydrogen and oxygen, which means that one water molecule is made out of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So one water molecule by itself made up of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So it is also a clear and tasteless substance and is vital for all known life. So all known life that we know all around the world, all around space and time, we know that water is essential for life. So any types of life, animals, plants, and even us. We need water to survive. So, water in our experiment is going to make up the other 1/4 of our water bottle. So 3/4 oil, 1/4 water. I'll show you guys what it'll look like. I did an experiment before this. It'll look a little bit like this. I'll come and show you real quick. It'll end up looking like this. 1/4 water, 3/4 oil. That's the ratio we're looking at here. Okay? So, next up we're going to look at before we start getting into the ingredients is the science. What is the science of this whole entire experiment? What is so sciencey about it? So, let's look here. Oils are hydrophobic. I know it's a big term here, but basically all that means is it's water fearing. It's scared of water. So if we break down this word, hydro is a term for water, and phobic is fearing. So if you are scared of spiders, it's arachnophobia. Phobic is fearing. Okay. So in this experiment, oil molecules are repelled by water, so they don't mix. You have here, they don't mix. So you have water drop down to here. You still have the oil on top. Bring it back up top. Same exact thing. The water's on the bottom. Oil's on the top. And here's our video of the relationship between the water and the oil. So you have here our water's at the bottom, our purple water with our oil at the top. No matter how much you flip it, the water drops down, oil stays on top. Keep going back and forth. Looks really cool. Even sideways like this, the water stays below, the oil stays on top. If you really shake it, it'll mix a little bit, but over time, you'll see slowly and slowly and slowly, the water will go drop down and the oil will rise. Because again, oil is hydrophobic and it is repelled by the water. It's always going to be like that. Okay? So now, let's get down to the ingredients. What do you guys need to do to have, or what do you guys need to have to do this experiment? So the first thing that you need, super basic, is a water bottle, regular water bottle. You can actually do any kind of size. I'm actually do both. Sizes that we're looking at here is a 2-liter. You can use a 2-liter or even a big giant jug if you want to. We're going to use a water bottle and a 2-liter for this experiment. We're going to do 2 different types of experiments. Next you need is Alka-Seltzer. Okay, you guys can get that at any general store. They look like this. Make sure that you get the tablets. The tablets are essential. If you get like the liquid, it's not going to work. So I'll show you here what the tablet looks like. This guy right here. I'll come closer to show you. Tablet like this guy. Okay? Alright. The more tablets you have, the more bubbles and lava kind of experience that you'll have. Next is the cooking oil. Any kind of cooking oil works, any oil works. Right here we have vegetable oil, canola oil you could use, and I think we have here some more canola oil, but it's a different type of canola oil, different brand. You can use any type of canola oil. The best oil that you can get is the lighter the better, because you will actually be able to see more of the bubbles going through the oil if it's lighter. If it's darker, it might be a little harder. So the lighter the oil, the better. Okay. Second to last thing you need is water. This is our water that we have here. We're going to be using this throughout our experiment. And then last but not least, this is optional if you have it at home or if you want to go buy it, you're more than welcome to, is food coloring. They usually come in little packages like this. And today we're going to be doing red and green. These are the two colors that we're going to be using. And yeah, so that's all you need. I did purple on my first one. And then for these experiments, we're going to do green and red. And we're going to see how that turns out. Okay? So, let's get started. So our first step here, what we need is a water bottle. What major thing that you need to do before you get started is take off the label. Take off that label, because if you don't, it's going to block all the cool bubbles and you won't be able to see the lava lamp doing its thing. Okay? So let's take off that label, make sure we throw away our trash in the trash can over here. Okay? Don't just throw it on the ground. So water bottle. Second step is using a funnel. Actually, we're going to take off the cap. We need to take off the cap because we need to pour things inside the water bottle. So, our second step is we're going to put the oil into the water bottle first. Remember that we need 3/4 full of oil. 3/4, okay? So about 75% of the way there. We're going to use a funnel here so we don't get all messy and it gets everywhere. A funnel there. And then we're going to use this one, vegetable oil. See how this turns out? Alright. Okay. So I'm going to have it in front of me like this, not below me, so I can't see the level of the oil if I'm looking straight down. But if I have it out in front of me, I can see the level of how much I'm filling up the water bottle with oil as I'm pouring it in there. So we're going to do that. The funnel's helping us not make a big giant disaster of a mess, which is great. Alright. It doesn't have to be exact, but I think that's about 3/4. If you end up pouring too much into your bottle, you can always try to pour it back using the funnel back into here, just like that. But I think this is just about a good amount, 3/4-ish, maybe. You can pour a little bit out, so we get more lava lamp action. Cool. Alright. So that's the second step, putting the oil in the water bottle. Pretty simple. If you don't have a funnel at home, you can just kind of pour it in there. You just got to be extra careful about the spillage around. The oil can kind of get everywhere. So the funnel actually helps out a lot. Third step, okay, is the water. We're going to mix the water with food coloring. So we're going to use our green. See how this works out. Use our green. If you don't have food coloring, then you're just going to pour the water directly into the water bottle. You can use a funnel like I'm going to in a second. But if you do have food coloring, you need to mix the water and the food coloring before you put it in the water bottle. So let's go here. Let's pour some water into this cup. Perfect. Okay, and then we're going to put some food coloring into this guy. Bam, bam, bam. Ooh, that's a cool color, green. Love the color green. Cool. Alright. Then I actually have these little sticks here to help me mix it. You can use a spoon, you can even use your finger if you really want to. But I'm using this little wood stick here. Alright, now we're going to pour the water into the oil. or into the water bottle which has the oil in it. So you'll see here, the water is going to slowly go down to the bottom as it goes through the oil. Alright, and this is an important step, is in your step 3 when you're pouring the water in, make sure you leave a decent amount, maybe like an inch or so below the cap, because if you don't, it's going to overflow when you put the Alka-Seltzer in, okay? So make sure that you leave yourself some space here, so that the bubbles can come up and not overflow in your water bottle, okay? So, last step, last but not least, this is the fun part, is we get our Alka-Seltzer tablet here. We're going to break it up in half, so you can break it up in quarters, whatever you want, and then we're going to drop them in there. If you do the whole tablet, it actually does not fit into the water bottle, so that's why you need to break it up into halves. So, here we go, we're going to drop her in there. Drop one, it'll flow all the way down to the bottom. Takes a couple seconds for the bubbles to start actually going. It's pretty cool. Or actually, after this video, we're going to show you some more close-up videos of the whole process and the bubbles mixing in between and the relationship between the water and the oil. So stick around after this video. Make sure you see those more in-depth kind of videos that we're going to show you here. Another thing you can do, which is kind of a step 5, is you can actually use your phone light or a light, whatever you want, and put it at the bottom of it, and it makes this really cool glow. And then you turn off all the lights, and it's super awesome. It looks really, really cool. We'll show you that in one of the videos at the end of this video, at the end of our experiment. But this is what it's going to look like. I'll show you a little closer here. This guy. The bubbles are rising through. As you can tell, the water does not mix with the oil, so that's why you see all these bubbles coming through the oil. Those are all water bubbles that are floating up to the top that aren't mixing with the oil, so that's why you can see all the water bubbles as they go through the oil. And then they're going to drop back down because oil and water does not mix. Okay? So, that is our experiment for our water bottle. Next we're going to do the big jug and see how this goes. So, this one might be a little tougher because it's such a big jug, but we're going to do it anyways. So, let's use the oil that we got. Remember our first step is to get the water bottle, but our second step is to put the oil in. Always want to put the oil in first before the water. So we go here. This might take a little extra longer to pour in because it's such a big bottle. Alright, so that's vegetable oil. Let's use some more vegetable oil. Takes a little longer to pour in because the funnel is actually slowly pouring it in and making sure it's not spilling a mess all over. We're going to keep pouring in, and we're about halfway, so we need about another fourth in there. Almost there. I think we're about... that's pretty good. We want to leave some space anyway, so I think that's pretty good. We used a lot of oil for this, so again, the bigger the container you have, the more oil you're going to use. So just be aware of that. Next, what we're going to do is mix the water with the food coloring. We're going to do red for this one, or red food coloring. So let's pour that in. And we get some red in there. Looks super cool. We actually might need more water than this, so I'm going to leave the food coloring out, because we're probably going to need to add another cupful into this 2 liter. We'll see. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. Slowly some water into the cup. Again, mix it outside the bottle before we pour it in there. Perfect. And then we're going to pour the rest of this guy in here. Alright, it's perfect. We want to leave just about that much space for this guy because we don't know how much bubbles it's actually going to do with all this water and oil mixed together. But it's actually all settling down. It looks really cool here. Alright, so we're going to put 4 seltzer tablets in there. And we're going to see what happens. Start off with 2, work our way up to 4. So again, break up the alk seltzer tablets, put them in there, and we'll see what happens. It's going to look really cool. Ooh. Bubbles are a lot bigger because it's a bigger container. You can see it all happen in there. Looks really cool. I'll bring it over to show you guys real quick. This is your own DIY lava lamp right here with a 2-liter. Alright. So I'll let that guy keep going. But thank you guys for stopping by and joining me on this DIY lava lamp adventure experiment that we have here going. If you guys want to do this experiment, post it on Instagram. Video record yourself or maybe take a picture of it. And then tag us in it. We want to see your guys' experiments. So tag us here at Cajon Rec, just ELCAJONREC on Instagram. Just tag us there and we can check them out. And then if you guys are interested in our other virtual classes and virtual videos, you guys can visit us at www.elcajonrec.org. Again, www.elcajonrec.org. We have all these different virtual classes and videos that you guys can check out there. And yeah, so thank you guys for coming by and hope to see you guys here next Saturday for some Science Saturdays. Alright guys, so this is how you guys can take your guys' lava lamps to the next level. So what we're going to do, here I'm going to show you, is we're going to put our phones like this in a Ziploc baggie so it's protected from the oil. What we're going to do is we're going to turn on the light here, just like this. We'll do the green one first and then we'll save the big guy for last. So let's do this first. Okay. There we go. Alright, set it down there. Put that guy there. Okay. Let's make sure she's focused on it. Alright. Now, drop some alk seltzer tablets in it. Alright. Test number 1. Drop those tablets in there and let it go. Looks pretty cool. Alright, so now we're going to try the big guy here. Give you guys a few more seconds with the green one. Alright. No more green guy, now we're going to do the red. Big guy. Alright. So let's drop the tablets in there. Remember, break them up. Drop them down. Just like that. Awesome. Alright. There's the two of our water bottles with the light underneath with the lights off. Looks pretty cool.